Welcome to the Active Trader Setups Trading and Charting Package demonstration of our ATS bar chart trader for NinjaTrader 8. We're going to take a look and see how it works. We're going to run that on a demonstration on the ES Futures playback. We'll get the legal stuff out of the way. We're going to spend part of today showing you a little bit about our charts and then get right into how the buttons work on the live playback. First of all, let's take a look at our chart trader, and we see that we've now got our indicator placed on the chart with the bar chart trader. How this works is we'll investigate further. It follows the bars, and you can set it your own settings, which bar you want to come into the trade at, and you can just activate that on the chart. If you're watching this and you say, okay, if it breaks long, I want to be long, and there's many reasons you could believe it's going long. We'll talk a little more about that. You just simply set the bar chart that I want to be long, and it will take you in. When this bar closes and this bar opens, it will put you in this trade. Now you can run a trailing stop. If you set the 1 or the 2 bar, it's going to be right down here, and it's going to follow up as we move along. Now if you got it on 2 bar, it's going to be way up here before it advances up. You can set the settings a little below each bar as well. You can control that. You have the inputs for all of that information. I like to use a 1 bar trail, and we're running this off of our proprietary ATS Ichimoku bar that's laid over our charts, and I'll show you a few charts. And then you can set the trailing bar as well. And the great thing about this compared to running an actual strategy, once your strategy's built, you're kind of locked into what that strategy exit plan is. And if you try to exit manually when you're in the middle of a strategy, the strategy don't know you're out of the trade. And then, of course, when it does reverse on the strategy for the stop, it will take you into a short position that maybe you didn't want to be in. So we had these buttons developed, programmed, and we're going to show you how they work, and it overcomes that problem. You can close this out, and everything is reset. It's like OCO bar. It'll cancel out the trail, and you don't have to worry about it trying to put you in another trade and getting your strategy all out of sync. Another feature we'll show you is this is a bigger bar chart than this one. You can be in a trail on the big chart and say, I want to tighten it up. I'm coming into support and resistance. You can turn, maybe you're on the 1 bar trail over here, and this is a bigger bar, so you want to tighten it up. You can literally switch to the smaller bar chart, turn on your 1 bar trail on it, which is much tighter. I actually like to do the 2 bar trail on the ES, and what it ends up translating to, rather than a 1 bar trail that's here and you're coming down, it'll actually translate to the current bar that you're in. So it moves your much tighter stop. You just turn this on, it'll put you a new stop tighter on your chart, and you just literally will turn off the other one, and I'll show you how that works as well. So you can switch back and forth, and you certainly can't do that with an automated trading strategy. We want to give you just a few examples on the ES Futures playback of how this ATS bar chart trader works. It's included in our newest release, including semi-auto trade reversals with our bar chart trader that you see here. Our blue diamond reversals are shown right on the charts. Key level markers right on the charts, little arrows as we come up into those areas and come back down into those areas. You can trade your watch list, get alerts on the charts and in the alert log off of these key levels and these blue diamond reversals. These are all shown right on the charts. So you choose your setup as you're in a big sell-off, and you say, hey, I know this is going to flip in a little bit, it's oversold. I'm just going to set my trailing reversal trade. It will follow these bars down. It runs 2 bars back, and when it flips this long, it will take you long in the trade. Set your trailing stop for you. Set a target for you if you wish. You can turn that on or off. You can move it around. You can close the position out in the middle of the trade. You don't have to worry about your strategy getting out of whack because you forced to close. Everything's pre-built in these buttons. You also have your targets that you can sell into, anticipating the reversal on our key level areas. You see this come up, it's very strong. It cuts right through this first area. Next area is here, and finally you pretty much know at this point that it should reverse some because it's so oversold at that time, and you pick up another great trade right back down. You can run these on your watch list, any stocks you choose, any level setting on the bars. You can set to a smaller ATR stock with a smaller bar reversal and smaller risk levels. And the last thing that's included in this release is the actual proprietary clouds. We've taken the Ichimoku clouds, we've optimized those to our algorithms, and we've come up with our own settings. They're locked in, they can't be changed, and they produce you some pretty strong charts that you can see. The dots is our actual algorithm plotting. You don't have to keep that on your chart if you don't want to look at it. But you can see how it actually will plot right into a line sometimes in reverse. Many times that happens, and that's how we optimized it once we got the settings that was going to sync in with our algos. A very quick glance at this 1ES chart. This is running on a 10 tick just to show you how our clouds can interpret those reversal areas for you. You can see this chart consolidating along this level of this chart out. This is the cloud out here. That's where you're at. The yellow dotted line represents the right side cloud. You get a breakout there, 7, 8 points. You get this pull back toward the end of the session into that area. Next session opens up, and it just accelerates up through the night, and this is a 20-point move. Consolidates around. You got a blue diamond reversal here, which wasn't much to it. Slight loser, or maybe even a slight winner. Very tight in here. Once you get these 2 or 3 wiki bars, that lets you know you're in a real bad spot for figuring out what it's going to do. You might want to wait instead of taking the initial reversal. Take the what we call the stable long. You wait an extra bar, and that's pre-built into our buttons as well. And you get this breakout for these 7, 8, 10 points here. You got a blue diamond reversal, back down, comes into our areas, continues around. We'll talk about this green and red line, how it worked off of that line there as well. And you can just see it working between the areas. I'll slide this on over. Gives you a reversal oversold. You can see how it runs into little troubles in these areas. Lots of consolidation inside the cloud. That's what it is. It's resistance. Gets a little breakout, not much to that. Goes back into a sell-off. You can go to bigger charts and to see other reasons and normal standard charts as to why you may be reversing. Then you can see this bounce, how it's short-lived, runs right into the resistance areas and gives you a reversal. This is what we like to do. We like to look for the setups running into the probable inflection points and then set up the button trade for the reverse trade. Then you get a nice long sell-off. You can set up another trade to come in other ways. You can see where it comes up here, red green line again, switches the trend shift, gets through resistance, just powers on up. And we've got some other indicators you'll learn about as you use our package. That's all included. Just finished showing you this chart as it ran across in time, and you can see how it reversed off different levels. Let's get on and take a look at this button trader. Okay, we're looking at the 19th here. It's 9:21 a.m. on the playback right before the open. The charts have had a big run all night. This was about where the session opened at 6 the night before, and it's been a big run up all night. So we certainly can't go long at this point in time. But what we can do is take what the market generally does at the open. A lot of times it'll change directions. Could it be a big sell-off? It's possible. Could just be some consolidation at the open. We'll look for an opportunity. This is our chart. We're definitely in a big uptrend on this 10-tick chart, and this is our smaller chart at this same time. It's been chopping sideways for quite a bit. This is at 7:30 and this is at 9:30. So we've been chopping here, so we definitely can look for a breakout. Maybe we get a little more pullback. But we're going to turn it on, and I'm going to slow it down just a tad bit here and pick back up where it's at the go into the open. And this is moving about, that's 9:30 we just got on. So still watching. This is the same chart, 6-tick chart here, and this is our 10-tick chart, still basically where it was. We're over to 9:38. We're just still all this chop going on the smaller chart. You can't even see it on the bigger chart. Bigger chart starting to act like it wants to pull back. This is giving a pullback here. Some still very wicky. We didn't even get but one bar down. This is a 6-tick chart compared to this 10. Continue to see how we're going here. It's about 10 o'clock. There was an alert just went off that popped up one of our reversal bars. This alert says we had a 10 blue diamond short reversal trigger. That's because this blue diamond went off and we popped that up on a 10 chart. We don't pop it up on the little ones. And now it's giving a quick little short-term reversal here. This is still indicating it might want to go down. So we're just going to kind of watch it here. And now we're at 10:20. Just to see where we're at in the day. I'm going to slow it down. Well, it's on 100. That's slow enough. And we're seeing what's happening here at 10 o'clock. We're still really chopping right here. We're at the same consolidation area. She heads back down again. So now we've been looking pretty strong in the overnight session. This is where I like to start looking. Do we want to go long or short? We don't even know. So we can put a manual trade on our chart, a sell limit a little below where we've been, and then we can put we fill there. So now we're going down. We need a stop. We want a really, really tight stop on this. I'm going to go to this chart, put a 2-bar trail off of this chart. We stopped out already, so it canceled all the other orders. Now we're at 11:18. This is turning back up. I want to go long right here. I'm going to kill this stop. It's too tight. And I'm going to get on this chart. I had this preset on the little chart. Turn that bar off. And now we've got a bigger, wider trailing stop on the big chart that had ran all night. We got an exit order up here. If you're trading a normal strategy and you try to move these orders around, they want to go back where they were. They don't like you to mess with them. So we just turn that off. We don't even need it. Just to let you know we can do that in the middle of this, and it doesn't matter. It's not like a strategy. If we want to close the position, okay, we've had a good run, so I want a tighter stop. So I'm going to take and put me a 2-bar trail here and try to cancel the other one. Didn't have time to cancel it, but it canceled itself. So I tightened up the stop to a 2-bar on the 6-tick, which virtually put me right here. Now we're getting a reversal. I'm going to pause it for a moment. That all went kind of quick. We came in right here at 250 quarter on a market order as this was turning right here. It was just opening this bar. And you can run a little slower pace when you're running real time. This was 100 times normal pace. So here was your trade at 11:45 where we came in at, and now we're at 12:41. So all this uptick took place on the 6-tick chart. You could come in right here if you wanted to, but I would rather wait when you this squirrely to a bigger, get on a bigger trend chart. And you can, there's two ways you can enter using our bar chart. Now we did this market order, but you could put a long trail which trails the last 2 bars back, so that would have been the trail entry. Or you could put a stable entry, still click the long order 2-bar trail. The stable entry translates into, here's the 2-bar trail. The stable entry will not trigger until a bar closes with no wick underneath. So as it turned, it wouldn't trigger here, it would trigger on this bar anyway where we went in at. Now when you've got, I'll show you this chart right here, this little, if you had the stable entry right here, when this bar closed, this bar would not take you long. The reason is there's a wick out the first bar. This one you don't have it on the bigger chart. If we cannot get the clean bars with no wick to show the strength, then if we go the stable, when we take the stable long, we still got to turn our long order 2-bar trail on, but when we switch it from long trail to stable long, it changes the way it enters the order. It looks for a bar closing with a non-wick bottom. So if we had that same stable order on this chart, it wouldn't have taken us long here or here. It would have been when this bar closed way up here. And the reason it would wait, again, because we want a non-wick lower bar. Now this got a lot of strength and ran really fast. Now it's turning over, and we can turn it back on and see if we can demonstrate some more strategies. I slowed it down just a little bit. If we had had a short trail already selected prior to this reversal, we would be short right now, because as soon as this bar closed, it would have took us short. I'm going to change it to a stable short, and it'll show you when the next bar opens, if this one doesn't develop a wick, it will take us short at that time. If this develops a wick before the bar goes down some more, if it even goes down, then it will not take us long. It'll wait another, not take us short, it'll wait another bar. Now we've got 2 trailing bars on here, so we got to turn one off. So we're going to turn this one off, and we're going to take the bigger trend stop, trailing stop. Now this also brings in the optional exit order, a profit target order. In most strategies, if you have a profit target, you can't get rid of it. But in our button trader, you can turn it off or on when you set it up, depending on what you're trading, if your plan is, or you can let it stay on and then delete the order after you get into the trade, and it doesn't delete your trail. It doesn't change your strategy in any way, the way we've got this design. So we're going to turn this back on. We got to activate the button and go forward and see where we end up on the next run. I can see this in the background. Okay, we took a short. Here's our order I was telling you about. We can move this. We can turn it off. It doesn't matter. It's got our trailing stop. We're trailing 1 bar back on this plus 3 ticks above it. We're trying to get the big run down. Now, if you just want to exit, hit close. Takes you out. If you want to do a reversal, long reversal, turn it on. It's going to show you the trigger here. I'm going to pause it for a second so you can see what we just did. Now, as we were going down and like, hey, enough for me, we just hit the close button. If you do that in a regular Ninja strategy, the strategy does not know that you're no longer short. So if you have some kind of trailing stop, some type of profit target, whatever the case may be, those orders are still in the strategy. It don't know you're out. So you get the reversal that's supposed to close your position. It thinks you still have one, and it reverses your position. You might not want to be reversed. The way our buttons are designed and programmed, you can close out, everything cancels. You're just reset and good to go. Now, we've got this set. The one thing you have to be careful is you don't have two trails set. If you do, you got to delete one as soon as the orders come out. You'll see it. What generally will happen if you had two trails, the first one will stop you out, the other one will cancel. If it's a fast moving stock, maybe like a Netflix or a Boeing, it may go so fast before that order can get canceled and reverse your position. That's why you want to get it off the chart and try to be careful not to create two buttons. And if you're just trading on one chart, you don't have to worry about that anyway. I'm going to show you how we can use these two. Now, what we have designed in here is the long trail. As this sells off, if you had a long trail set as this was going down, it's set to 2 bars plus 1 tick. What we know, and the high of this bar right here, I'm looking right over here in this box, the high of this bar is 247. Our entry is 247.25. So we got it set 2 bars back plus 1 tick. You can program plus 2 ticks, 3 ticks. You don't want to get too many because you hit the next bar. You can program that how you want it. You want 2 bars, and the reason we use 2 bars is we know our algo wick is going to close this doji bar and create the next bar generally within 1 or 2 ticks of the high of this bar, or maybe even after the bar. Sometimes on a stock it can be a few cents before, a few cents after, depending on what the size of the bar is. So as this comes down, it keeps showing you your entry order. It follows you down. If you're going up and you've got a trailing short trail button turned on, it will start. Well, I got it stopped. I don't want to turn it on. I'm scared it'd take me short, and I don't want to be short. I'm not sure how this playback would treat that. You get the red line on the short order, and as this goes up, it keeps trailing your short. And when it finally makes a reversal, you're short. So if you're playing, if you like reverse trades, this is the way to do it. It runs up, and it won't trigger you until it's time. Now, that don't mean they're going to chop around and go up some more, kind of like those choppy candles we saw earlier. It can just chop around, turn, and go right back up. This little indicator right here is a force indicator that comes with the charting package that we like to use when we can find it the very first bar. We run alerts that when you get the reversal bar and immediately you have this max to 0 on the first bar, which that's not the case here. Took it a few bars. I don't care about it on this 6 tick. I want to see it on a bigger chart. I trade a lot of stocks when I get the alerts immediately. It's a strong reversal, and it's probably going to higher probability of moving in our direction if it's instant on the first reversal bar. We're going to turn this back on and watch this move up. If it moves up, and I'm going to probably speed it up so we can make the video. Okay, we're there. We went long. I slowed it down just a little bit. Our trail is following us. We're going to leave this exit order up here this time. I don't think it'd ever go that far. If you had a target area based on yesterday's high, VWAP, Fibonacci, anything you want to use it for, you can put it there and exit into that. Now I'm seeing my chart run up here. I don't see any levels it's going to run into, so I'm letting this go. Now, let's say I want to tighten up this stop. I'm going to pause it for just a second, show you what we can do here. Now, we're trailing 1 bar back, so as soon as this bar closes higher, if it does, it will move our stop up higher. We started down here, as the bars progressed. We got a 1 bar trail, so it's the bar back, the low of that bar, and we got it 1 or 2 ticks off the bottom of that. Now, if I want to tighten my stop, if I go to my 6 tick chart and click the 2 bar trail, it will go become a 2 bar trail. Way over here is where our stop moves to. Gets tighter. So if I think it's run far enough, or I don't want to give up much profit, I don't want to let it make a full reversal on me and take all my profit, I can tighten this up. Now you run the higher probability and most likely probability of on one of these little candles getting stopped out, because right here, if you already had that 2 bar trail, you'd have been out right there, because the wick, well, excuse me, it wouldn't have reached back that far because you'd have been down here. That wouldn't have gotten you on a 2 bar. That's why you don't want a 1 bar trail on this little chart. But as it's running up, now we want to protect, or we get in near a support resistance line, we expect it to possibly reject. We can tighten this up, and the way we do that is we just go right over here, hit the 2 bar trail. It's going to put another stop in above this, and then we're going to close this one out when it does. So I'm going to turn it back on so we can do that. You see it immediately come in. We're going to close this one out. Now we got a tighter stop. We're still going up, but we got a tighter stop. We're on a 2 bar trail, and that translates to the low of the current bar. This low, or very close to it, this low is 48. We got a 47.75 stop right now. So if this bar breaches, it's going to take us out. It did. I'm still on the same chart. Fast forward. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. I want you to watch this green line. This is our trend shift line. A lot of times when we break down below it, we expect a revisit to it. And that's what actually happened here. And of course, I know that because I can see the history. I just want you to see how this reacts to that. And we teach more about that. Now it's coming down below this green bar. The green line has not shifted to red yet. We have a value over here that'll tell you what it takes to shift it red. It's on the chart. We don't use it too much with the ES. It's our algo plot. It's not these little candles. It's when our algo plot, these dots get to that spot, it'll turn that red. It's our projection charting. We know what it's going to take. We're looking forward. So now it's bouncing back into this green line. A lot of times we get the breakdown and then we go back and revisit, and quite often it will stop right there and reverse, and that's indeed what happens here. So you could front run this, say, okay, I think this thing's not going to get through here, so I'm going to go in and set my reversal short trail. If it does reverse, there's your order. There you go. We got 2 stops again, so we got to get this one out of the way. We got a somewhat of a little move down. Whether we're going to get a big one or not, I don't know. I got the bigger stop on it. Whoops, I lost my stop. Here's how you fix that. You just turn it off and turn it back on. It'll put you in order. I accidentally canceled that stop. That's how easy that is to fix. I'm going to pause it again. So what just happened is we caught ourselves without a stop when we had 2 a while ago. When I turned it off and went up and canceled, I ended up canceling both of them in error. So you look up at your chart, you're short and you got no trailing stop. It's just that simple. Press the button, it sends an order, and it sends it in the right place. You don't have to figure it out. It's like, oh my goodness, what's the value of this chart? I need to put a stop in. Well, it's not going to be a trailing stop once you put it in. This will put it in for you instantly. It sent the order as soon as I pressed that bar. It sent the order that put it trail back right where it's supposed to be. Now, we got a big run going here. Again, this is where you like to switch your trails sometime. If you look up here on your chart, though, you're trying to break down. You're getting some strength in this little indicator right here. It's really hard to get this indicator to go green or red. It's on the ES. So it's got the first signs of building some momentum, and very likely this cloud over here that's trying to look like it's twisting down, that's going to be resistance now once it's down below this. So it's very likely it may give a big run. And see what happened here on this? This wick back up. The high of this bar was 28.44 This actual line value is right in that area because it's less than this white bar. So you see how it breaks down, revisits our trend shift projection number that was over here is now gone because it has shifted it from green to red. Right now it's not close enough to it to shift it from red back to green, so there's nothing on the chart. Only when this gets within 2 of our algo plots, or one or two from turning it another color, will it give you that projection warning. That can be scanned for as well. We call that our advanced trade setups. You can scan for that. We're going to move back to the bar chart trade again. Okay, as this chart continued on down the same day, this was after 3 o'clock, and let the trail run on the big bar here that we had, came all the way down, made the reversal. Is a 1 bar trail, which on this chart, that's back to here. So when it came back up and cleared that, it stopped itself out. It's a 1 bar trail plus 3 ticks. Stopped it out at 28.34. The high of that was 28.33. So the trail was 28.34. The high of the 1 bar trail was set to 3 ticks over the high. Now that's programmable. You can set it 1 tick, no ticks, 4 ticks. You can set it yourself. You can't set it so high that it gets back on the next bar, but all that's programmable by you. You can go into the settings and program both of the trailing stops, how many bars back, how many ticks above. You can name the bar anything you want to name it. When you name it, it changes it here as well, plus the button on the chart. It changes it's still called trail stop 1, trail stop 2 back here. And then you got your long trails that you set those like you want them. We run them 2 and 1 tick. Short trail, same thing. And then you can set the colors of the buttons. You can call them anything you want to name them. You name it, it shows up on the chart on the button trader. Totally customized by you. Then you can turn the profit on or off. That's up to you. All that can be done by the end user. We got the settings that we see the need to be, and we share them with you, and then you can modify and try other things if maybe you're trading something entirely different. This video has already ran longer than I wanted it to. We're toward the end of the day. It's 3:49 p.m. right here. So I'm going to fast forward to the next day. There was a trade I want to show you about this force indicator here, and we're going to end this short video. Okay, we're fast forwarded up to 9:40 the next morning. Just to share with you on a little bit of trading we did. I know we had one loser on the first part of we were just watching there. We've already produced $987.50 profit on this playback we're running on 1 contract. All we've been trading is 1 contract. You do not have to have a live account to use this. You can run it on Ninja. When I say live account, meaning you don't have to have a license with Ninja to trade off the chart. Now, if you want to trade instantly, you probably need one, and you probably wouldn't have to use our buttons very long to decide you want to purchase one. But what you can do is, as these triggers take place, you can look in your positions. It'll give you the exact price, especially if you're using these trade stocks. It may be still sitting at the same price it triggered at. Now, in the case of the ES, it may or may not because it moves a little faster. But you can actually use this as your alert system. You also can place the order on the chart. It's showing you the red dotted line where the trigger is going to be. So you can take that same scenario if you're trading manually through a broker without being linked API through Ninja. You can place that order and keep moving your order down on your broker trading platform as this works its way down. That's why I had the line put on the chart, so you would always know what the trigger price is going to be ahead of time. I'm going to take a look and show you this chart right here. This was during the night. You see it run up here. Here's our level. You'll learn about our clouds. This is already short biased. It's switched over. It wants to go down, so you can expect this bounce to fail. That's where it failed at. That line's right there on your chart. 28.43 is the number. The wick of that bar was 41.75, so it didn't quite reach all the way there. It reversed. You anticipate that. You can set your trail, and it would have rolled over right there. Now this is pre-market in the morning. Here's your 9:30 or 9 o'clock candle. Sometimes you might not want to trade at that time of day, but it may be the right time of day at 11 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the regular trading session, regular hours. I'm going to turn this on, slow it down a little bit. I want to show you a trade, a bounce that occurred as it sold off very hard. Two things I want to show you on this. As we're selling off, I've gone to a 6-tick chart. We've got two different clouds. We're looking for support. These long flat lines represent old levels back in the rear of us on these clouds. They are still support. So we've got a level. We're coming in here around 25, around 28, 26. We got another long flat spot at 22.50, and then we got another long flat spot right around 218, 217.50. These areas back here, and then there's another one even lower than that, 28.06. Also on the bigger chart, this is back to our 10-tick chart. We got some levels in those areas as well. Here's your 16, a 21. So we're watching this come down, and we know we've got some possible support areas. Now we're going to get back on our wick charts. Turn it back on. This is the last trade I'm going to show you. I'm going to keep this video. We're already going to be at about 40 minutes. It's way too long. Now let's see what time it is. Okay, it's only 10:08 a.m. Get a little bounce there on some of those clouds. Reverse back down. Still chopping around. Now you could be scalping some of this. Now see, I'm just trying to show you what's happening here. We got a reversal bar, but this didn't go green. Doesn't have to go green. It's hard to get it to. I want to show you the reaction to what happens when it does go green immediately after a strong sell-off. I trade this off a lot of stocks. If I can get the instantaneous reversal of this on the first bar all the way to a green, which is a 1 in our box over here, it will be a strong reversal. I'm gonna set a reversal bar here on the long trail. I'm actually gonna set it on a stable. Now I want to set on a long trail so you can see your button, your line. So I'm going to set that on so you can see your line follow down. This is how you can take and put this on your charts and manually trade this through your broker. And it's going to see it work its way down. It went down to 24. If it goes down further, it'll move itself down again. It'll keep giving you a new reversal number on this bigger chart. We want to put a trail on this too, so we got that turned on. So now we have our trail. See, it dropped down to 23.50 now. Now it went long. Now we're getting a pretty strong run up right here. On this, we got it to a 1, and we got our stop moved up from the bottom, moved up to running off of this bar, 3 ticks below it. That way we can allow one little wick down, shift it again, and then it trailed back and got me, okay? Stopped me out. So I'm going to pause it again. Now, we had a 1 bar trail with 2 ticks down. So right here, this bar slammed down just far enough to stop us out. We could have had a 2 bar trail. If you think that your run is strong enough that you want to give it a lot of room, you can go to the 2 bar trail. This was a 1 bar trail less 1 tick. It took that low out, and that's when this craziness went on right here on the little chart. So if we went over and tightened this up to a 2 bar trail over here because of our big run, it would have actually ended up stopping us out at 31.25 rather than 28.75. But you see how this came in pretty quick, not the first bar, but the second bar. And then it was a very strong move up off that reversal. And we had those levels too. What was the low of this bar right here? The low was 17.25. When we were looking at these charts over here, I believe it was this chart, that was one of our levels back here, was right in that area. So that's how our charts can show you support and resistance and inflection points, and that's how you can auto trade, semi-auto trade the setups you like. You can trade your stocks. It don't have to be the ES. The ES is the only thing Ninja offers a playback on. And you see how our bars work. Now we have another video out that's much longer than this, shows a lot more trades. You can fast forward in that video over to where the trading starts, or you can learn more about our charting system in the beginning of that. It's out on the YouTube as well. It's just called the advanced demo. It's a little bit more details about how things work. Thanks for watching our video. Go over to ActiveTraderSetups.com and you can learn more about our trading package and how to start using it. So to find out more about the ActiveTrader Setups trading and charting package with our proprietary ATS bar chart trader with the buttons right on your chart trader, see how it works, video you're watching now has covered our all-new release that includes these last updates on our semi-auto trade reversals with our bar chart, the blue diamond reversals, the key markers, key level markers with the arrows on the charts and the alerts. You run them off of your watch list. You can swing trade with them, active trade with them, option trade with the breakouts. Just choose your setup. As you see something like this coming into play, you go ahead and set your chart that you want to do the trail reversal on your bar chart trader. And when it does trigger, it'll take you short. If it keeps going, you won't be taken short. Your key level markers are alerts that let you know when you get there. They're right on the charts. And again, these work with any watch list you want to work or use. So again, thanks for watching our video, and we'll see you at ActiveTraderSetups.com.